Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Converlations podcast. I'm Daf.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And thank you for tuning in today. We are fresh off the 4th of July weekend. How was your 4th of July? What did it entail? Did you have a good time? Tell us all about it.
This 4th of July was a big one for me. Of course, 250th for the country. I still remember the 200th, which was a big deal 50 years ago. God, I sound old.
I don't.
Yeah, you weren't there. 200th was a big deal. And now we're at 250. It was, let's just say, momentous. I had some family come out, and we started off the Independence Day weekend with training them to use stick shift on my Jeep. They wanted to learn to drive stick.
Definitely a useless skill, if you ask me. I have zero interest in learning how to do that. Interesting that they're interested in that. Maybe just because you guys have the car.
None of their friends know how to do it. I think they're trying to be special or different.
Good for them.
Yeah, they didn't do too much damage. I took my nieces and nephews to Orange County for the actual celebration of Independence Day on the 4th. And they met up with some friends. I met up with other friends. I ended up going to an unplanned party, which I thought turned out really fun. Discovered and tasted a new whiskey and met some new cool people. It was a good 4th.
Nice. I went to Newport Beach also. I drove out with one of my friends. We poked around the Lido Peninsula area. My friend, he knows all about the area. He spent many holidays there. I could tell that this holiday was different because of what I'm calling the Coachella-like crowd chaos. Oh my goodness, the amount of young people in that area, the Lido Peninsula, was so overwhelming. Coming from somebody who's been to crazy concerts, I've been at the rail, unable to move. I know what a concert crowd is like. This was almost equivalent to that, which is so strange for a public beach area 4th of July. I just wasn't expecting it. I did not expect to feel overdressed in a skirt and kind of nice top. Every person that I walked by was in a bikini. Some of them had some denim shorts on, but the denim shorts, the new thing to do is roll the shorts down from the top. It doesn't look comfortable. But the ones that weren't wearing shorts, the bikini bottoms have gotten so skimpy. If you're walking around in public, thousands of people around you, my personal opinion is you should not be exposed in a bikini bottom that is thong style. Some of the girls had their little scarf wrap things.
Like sarong?
Sarong, there it is, that word. And they looked amazing. Some of them had a really good outfit. Some of them looked just kind of trashy. But I guess that's 4th of July, right? You're just trying to have a good old time. You're frolicking around in the ocean.
And it was hot.
It was hot. My friend and I actually wanted to go to Newport Beach for 4th of July because they have a little bit more mild weather than where we live. It was perfect. It was very comfortable. I did get the tiniest bit sunburn, but not sunburn to the point where I'm like sweating and unable to sleep. It truly was perfect weather. I was just really caught off guard by the Coachella-like crowd chaos. There was so many young people, which is fine. I love young people, but I don't love it when they make me feel old. And I was feeling that, unfortunately, this 4th of July. It was fun to see. Eventually, we walked down from the more residential area to the boardwalk and where there's more of a downtown shop area. The lines were crazy. Everybody wanted food or lemonade. My friend and I were kind of just checking it out. We passed by this area that had corn dogs. It was a corn dog stand. And for the first time ever, this is something I'll never forget. I'm sure you know what OnlyFans is.
Yeah.
I and my friend witnessed with our own eyes a young woman filming her OnlyFans content out in the public. I was doing my own thing. I was looking around, walking, and my friend goes, "Is that girl not wearing pants?" And, you know, there's a lot of people around us not necessarily wearing pants. Like I mentioned, everybody is in a thong-style bikini bottom. That's the normal for the day. Fine. But this woman was not in a thong-style bikini bottom. This woman was in a, what I can compare, wrestling singlet, but it was as wide as a shoelace. Literally shoelace.
Wasn't that in a movie back a while ago?
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was an X-rated movie because,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I literally couldn't believe. I feel like she knew that there was going to be lack of security. There was not police walking around. Actually, my friend made the comment multiple times. If there was a fight right now, the police would have such a hard time getting down here or breaking it up or assisting whoever it is that needs help. She was in front of the corn dog stand, slobbering all over her corn dog, jiggling her goodies front and back.
I can only imagine.
I just couldn't believe. I know that this stuff happens for sure because there are all kinds of young girls online who are way too willing to take photos of themselves naked and sell them after a few edits. It's just a little bit jarring seeing it actually take place. I was a little bit stunned. Yeah. I really just wanted to be around festivity. It's 4th of July, one of my favorite holidays. Just wanted to be around that, and everyone was in a great mood. Eventually, start to get just a little claustrophobic. There's too many people in these few street blocks feeling like we should remove ourselves. We're making our way out, and there's a helicopter that has been circling for the hour or two that we've been there. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. When helicopters are announcing something, you can't tell what they're saying because not only is there helicopter noise, but there's people on the ground noise. Also, the helicopter is way the heck up there. So anything you're speakering down to us is kind of getting jumbled or lost. Was my friend and I aware that this helicopter was making an announcement for quite some time? Yes. Did we know what they were saying? No. Did thousands of other people around us know what they were saying? Absolutely not. So eventually we get to an area that's a little bit less in population. You know that store, Jack's? They sell a whole bunch of surfboards, flip-flops. Yeah.
Yes.
So there was a Jack's store. So I went in and I was poking around. By the time we came out, we could hear the helicopter announcement, and it was saying, anybody in the areas of 28th Street to 32nd, you need to evacuate. This area is something like overpopulated, or there's an emergency. And I was thinking to myself, like, where's the emergency? I don't see any police vehicles or emergency responders. Like, where's the emergency? No one's running around acting like something's going on, right? So everybody had been ignoring this announcement for hours, and I assumed that continued because my friend and I left that area around 4:30 at the latest. When I was on my phone doing my nightly scroll that evening, I was seeing live reports from exactly that area, Lido Peninsula, of absolute, like I said before, it was the Coachella crowd chaos. Now it was just chaos.
Mayhem.
Fireworks everywhere, people getting into fights, looting at the pavilions. My friend and I actually were getting really thirsty after walking for a while. We were planning on getting a lemonade near the corn dog OnlyFans debacle, but we were a little turned away from that area when we saw the X-rated videography going on. The location that we stumbled upon next was a Pavilions, which is a pretty upscale grocery store.
Yes.
It's nice. It wasn't nice that day. Oh my God, I thought I was back in the Oakland Whole Foods parking lot. It was insane.
And that was when you saw it?
And that was around 4:15 p.m. Yeah.
Daylight.
Just the disarray was really alarming. I'm glad that we got out of there when we did. Not that I was scared. I wasn't concerned for my safety, but you just get to a point where it's overwhelming. You want some peace and quiet. You don't want somebody bumping into you. It was just a crazy situation, all in good fun, I guess, except for the looting and assumably property damage. Didn't you tell me you saw someone urinating on the bridge?
I saw a group of 5 or 6 girls. They were trying to shield one girl in the middle, and she was urinating in the bushes. Like literally right off of Newport Boulevard, where it bridges over the Pacific Coast Highway.
The 4th of July that just passed was the biquincentennial. What America did, proclaiming their independence 250 years ago, pretty iconic. I'm sure some people can have their own opinions on it not being iconic, but if you ask me, it was a pretty big to-do.
Yeah.
Some Americans are feeling like where we are at 250 years later is not necessarily an admirable location. Some people are saying that the way the country is being controlled or run currently, not just by one person, in general, is not something to be proud of. Do you understand these people's point of view? Why or why not?
Not only do I understand, I'm one of these people. I feel like we have been betrayed by the powers that be. And I'm personally offended by the way everyone on mainstream media is referring to this holiday as the 4th, just the 4th, which kind of like takes away and erases all the meaning behind the true name and spirit of this holiday, Independence Day, the day we declared independence from a tyrant and just started our own new country. And it was all over taxes, by the way.
I think there was a little bit more to it than just taxes.
Taxes was the big main reason. And I just think it's a betrayal that our country's forefathers bled, fought, and died to eliminate taxes. And back then, what they fought over was 3%. Now we're paying far more than 3% plus federal and income tax on top of that. And we're happy to be here and celebrate our Independence Day. It almost seems sacrilegious if you look at it from a historical perspective. Also, in addition to all that, I think we are purposely being conditioned or controlled by the powers that be to refer to the Independence Day as the 4th, because the powers that be don't want us thinking about another Independence Day or a revolution. Mm. So I think our language and thoughts are being controlled on purpose.
I didn't realize that was potentially the motive behind, I guess, not using the whole term Independence Day. If you ask me, Independence Day is kind of an aged term. People say the 4th of July because, I don't know, shorter word. It kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit more. I mean, it's an actual date. Independence Day, if you're talking about somebody who didn't grow up here, they're like, what's Independence Day? If you say 4th of July, they know. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Maybe that is the motive, but I'm not exactly sure the powers that be are the ones that are influencing everyday speaking, verbiage, and what forms into shortened lingo over time. I don't know if the powers that be had control over that. Did you watch Stranger Things, that relatively popular Netflix series that kind of was coming out for like 6 or 7 years because they took a really lengthy pause because of the COVID? They stopped filming for a while. Anyway, Stranger Things, I feel like, was being crammed down our throat for like a good half decade. Do you remember that?
They never crammed it in my throat.
You didn't watch. Good for you.
Actually avoided it. I heard of it. I know it was promoted heavily. I just never started it.
I'm actually jealous because it was a huge waste of time. One of the main actors in that series, his name is David Harbour. He was married to musician Lily Allen. I think it was last year, maybe the year before now. Announced that they were separating or getting a divorce. In the wake of her divorce, Lily Allen, the musician, she has decided to start cranking out some new music. It happens, right? You get an inspiration, dramatic life event, you've got some new songs. Some of her fans are a little peeved, a little upset. She is performing these new songs in concert. Obviously, she wants to sell her album. Great. I don't know if she went out of her way not to get secondary performer. If you're putting on a concert, you usually have 2 or 3 other people come on before the main performer. Lily Allen doesn't. For some reason, it's just her. That's totally fine. Until you're charging like $100, and apparently it's less than 1 hour. Some people are clocking it as 50 minutes.
Less than an hour?
Less than an hour.
$100.
Right. This is no Lana Del Rey. Okay.
Yeah, really?
Sorry. She's not selling out stadiums.
Sure.
It sounds like Lily Allen just doesn't have a lot of hype behind her. Exampled by can't get an opening act.
So what made her think she was worth $100 a ticket?
Maybe the fact that she is kind of in the news right now because of the divorce. And again, she has been making music for some time. I don't think she's been very consistent.
So she's no Michael Jackson caliber.
Kind of diabolical that she's charging these prices, only putting on a 50-minute performance. Fans are feeling robbed. Would you agree that she is not offering up a good exchange for what she's charging?
I would agree. Yes, definitely. I'm recalling in my day, which I know is things were different, but a concert ticket was roughly twice the price of going to see a movie. So like even movie tickets aren't half of $100 today. I could see her fans who paid that price for that less of a show feeling robbed.
Do you have an artist that you would love to see, and how much would you pay to see them? What's the maximum price?
I would pay $100 for a concert ticket to see David Bowie, who has passed recently, but he'd be worth that price today. But he comes with a lot of clout and notoriety.
Is $100 the maximum amount you would pay to see him?
I wouldn't pay more than $100, no.
That's actually kind of hilarious because I'm not going to concerts left and right like I used to, but I can't remember the last time I paid under $100 for a concert ticket.
Everything's different now, and inflation.
Did you know David Bowie is not his real name? Apparently it's something normal, like David Robert something normal.
I knew it was something bland and normal. David Bowie was how I was introduced to him, and he was just cool, and still is cool.
Cool. You know who's not cool? Olivia Wilde. The whole reason I bring her up, we were talking about David Bowie and the names. Apparently, when she decided to become an actress, she changed her name to Olivia Wilde. That's her stage name. Legal name is Olivia Coburn, but it has a nasty spelling. It's spelled Cockburn.
But pronounced Coburn, right?
She brought this up on a podcast, and she said, I was younger and there were bullies trying to make fun of me for it. I didn't give them the power. I didn't let them know that it was something that bothered me. Apparently, she was very secure and didn't care.
Reminds me of the senator used to tell everyone that his last name was pronounced Bonner. It was spelled Boner. It was a German surname, American politician. Totally changed the pronunciation of his name.
If I had a bad name, I would push pronunciation difference up until just change the name, especially if it's something.
And politically incorrect.
Just change the name.
Vote for Senator Boner.
If you were becoming an actor or an up-and-coming star, what would your stage name be?
I've already thought about this. Maximilian Montgomery. I think it flows with the double M's. Plus, it's related to my real name, Mike, so it would catch my attention even if I wasn't thinking about it. And somebody called me Maximilian.
No offense to anybody who's named that. I'm sure there's some pregnant ladies right now that have that at the top of their list.
Mulling over that.
I would go with Daphne Blake. That is the name of the character Daphne in the Scooby-Doo series. That's her name, Daphne Blake.
And Blake's cool.
It's just simple.
Like a good, strong surname.
Just nice and simple.
And Daphne's cool. I agree. You have a good name.
In life, you've lived a lot of life. I've lived some. Sometimes you pick up on the fact that this person, or maybe even this sex, I'm not sexist, but we got to be real here. There are some advantages that men have over women. There are some advantages that women have over men. It's scientifically true.
Speaking of the choir.
With that being said, what are some jobs, in your opinion, that only men should have, no women should have that job, and vice versa? What are some jobs that only women should have, no men should have that job?
We'll start with the men. Only men should be limo drivers, truck drivers, pilots, things like that. That should always be men. Women, I would say stewardesses and hospitality. I think women excel in that area. And I know it may seem or sound sexist. I don't mean to be sexist. I just think that most people prefer watching an attractive female work while sitting on a plane, bored out of their mind on a long flight, versus watching a man do his job. I don't know. Maybe I am being sexist and I'm a guy, but I'm more entertained by a pretty stewardess than a steward. And then in the rest of the hospitality business, I think women excel at a job that has to do with people's feelings and emotions. And when you travel, that's a very emotional experience.
I do just have to point out and confirm that you do know this. Stewardesses / flight attendants, they're sole purpose is not to parade around and be something for guests. They're not just an object to look at.
Yeah, I know, but it is part of the service.
No, that's not.
It's part of the experience. Yeah, I think they picked that job for personal reasons.
And why is it that only men can fly the plane or drive?
Oh, gosh. I don't want to get political. Let's just say they do much better under pressure. Transportation is very dangerous. So I also think the best jobs for women are elementary school teachers.
Okay.
I remember being young, and when I was in elementary school, my favorite teachers that I enjoyed the most, were most comfortable with, and I thought taught me the best, were all women. They fit like a motherly sort of role to me when I was young and going to school.
I think it's really funny you had that experience because my first ever teacher in kindergarten, I had a male teacher. His name was Mr. Hodge. I remember absolutely loving him and my time spent in his class. There was a little girl named Lorraine, and she was from Hawaii. I don't want to say I was jealous, but she was walking around and telling other girls, oh, you haven't been to Hawaii? Oh, you don't have this shell bracelet? She was trying to make other girls feel bad. She succeeded. I felt bad. Mr. Hodge recognized that, and I remember him just giving me a very sweet pep talk and making me feel good about myself. And for the rest of the school year, I didn't feel bothered by Lorraine and her pretentiousness. I really loved my elementary year with Mr. Hodge. In fourth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Newlin, and she was Satan. This woman had something against me. She was truly awful. I remember she would get angry with me and her nose would flare, and then I would notice that she really needed to shave her upper lip. And all I could remember is thinking, like, why does this woman hate me so much? She truly did not like me. I don't think school teachers should be a motherly figure. Should they be a safe space for any of their children to come to them with a problem? Absolutely. I just don't think any teacher should be a secondary mother figure. I don't think teachers should be like hugging their kids. I think that's actually a step too far. There should be no hugging or touching. That's just me. I don't think that's right. I think it's encroaching on weirdness.
Yeah, hard to explain. Just I think children are more comfortable with women when they're young, and then when you get to advanced education, you want the more authoritative male figure.
As somebody who was in high school not multiple decades ago, there are definitely women teachers who have no problem being an authoritarian figure. No problem. In fact, some of them are doing it too much. Not to the point where I don't think they should be teaching in middle or high school. I do think that there should be a good mix of both men and women teachers, in my opinion.
How do you feel about segregating children between like all boys schools and schools for all women?
Not always, but usually like a Catholic school that will do that.
Yeah.
I did have a friend transfer from one of those Christian segregated schools. She was very friendly. What I did notice about her was she was very thirsty for male attention. And that could have just been her individually. I don't know if that related to segregation from her old school. Not sure. A couple weeks ago, we saw in theaters the movie Backrooms. It was intriguing to me because I remember in early social media days, there would be references to the Backrooms, which in reality is probably just an edited photo that looks like it is a liminal space or something that goes on seemingly forever, but it is kind of intriguing and you are interested in it because there's the level of unknown. It's just kind of eerie, an eerie intrigue almost. This movie intrigued me because it kind of gave that same vibe. The movie is not what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more resolution or answer. It definitely ended on, I don't want to say a questionable end. It ended with not a lot of resolution. Maybe that's producer or director's way of leaving room for a sequel, because I guess that's what makes money these days. Or maybe it's just a producer or director's way of like being lazy and not finishing out the film, not giving us finality or an answer to what is going on really. In the movie, the main character becomes stuck in the back rooms, but then it seems like he doesn't want to leave. If you yourself were to become stuck in a back room or liminal space type situation, what is it that you would do to attempt to escape?
I remember while watching that movie, there was a point where he left and chose to come back, and he brought some things with him. I was curious and didn't understand why he didn't bring some sort of weapon with him when he came back with the rope and the flashlight and all this stuff, to explore, but no weapon, not even a knife. I would have brought a weapon. It was kind of spooky to me right from the beginning, and I thought he was even spooked and scared by it, but yet he didn't think to bring anything to protect himself with. I would have brought a weapon. I think that would have helped me get where I wanted to go, which would have been out at some point, like probably right away.
It's intriguing at first. When he first went in there, it was kind of creepy because of the dim yellow light, and there's no windows, so it definitely seems like it's not something you can escape, but it's intriguing. You're looking down hallways that aren't seeming to end when you're entering a room. It's so weirdly shaped, or it has a weird door or nothing. I mean, I could imagine wanting to get lost, forgetting about time, just kind of exploring. But then it was the creepy monsters or the weird sounds. The fear and anxiety of the unknown is outweighing the intrigue here. I would want to explore, but I am a major scaredy cat, so I would probably be out of there in a couple minutes. But
Right.
you're right. I would be using my lipstick or a Sharpie and like, I'm walking by this wall, so I'm going to mark it up and
Laying breadcrumbs, so to
exactly.
speak, kind of thing.
Not something that
Yeah.
can be removed type of deal, like spray paint or something. Well, spray paint in that kind of area is going to make everybody
Well,
have a
I
headache.
I liked your lipstick idea. That was clever.
Something.
Yeah.
Something you can't just be going in there all willy-nilly. When he walked in there and then just started exploring the different rooms and he wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention to where he was going, I was scared for him.
Or paying attention how to get back. Yeah, you're right. That part made me uncomfortable. How did you feel about that magical barrier from the beginning? Like, that freaked me out right there. Remember when he stuck his hand through the wall and it was like he was going into a different world or dimension, whatever it turned out to be? I thought that was scary. But basically, I wouldn't have gotten past that if it was me in real life.
Understandable, for sure. So I think that's all we have time for today. I know that you are getting ready tomorrow for your Utah trip with one of our friends. What are you excited to do or see?
I like driving. The highway experience is part of the fun for me. It's a long drive. I'm helping out my friend just get there. It's a road trip. I like road trips. I don't know what I'm going to be doing and seeing up there for fun. We're going to meet up with a buddy and learn about he just started a new job that he really likes and seems pretty interesting. He's all happy about it.
That sounds fun. Today, I have to go and do some bumblefoot care for my chickens. Lychee, who was suffering from bumblefoot, has recovered, but now Jade and Ruby are suffering. So,
It's not contagious?
no, not necessarily. The girls get it themselves from getting a scratch or a wound on their foot, and then it gets infected. Although it is a staph infection, which is contagious in general, they're not touching hands and giving it to each other. So, yes, but no.
Yes, but no. It seems like they're giving it to each other.
They're not.
No.
They're not. Because if they were, all 13 would have it.
Oh, yeah.
My cats are absolutely begging for food, so we got to wrap up. It's also getting really hot up here, so I am looking forward to being in the AC.
Me too.
I'm really glad that we had a fun and eventful 4th of July. I'm glad that nobody got hurt.
I'm glad nobody got hurt too. Yeah, it was a good Independence Day all around.
All right. Well, I hope everyone else watching had a great Independence Day or 4th, whatever you want to call it.
I want to call it Independence Day.
Thank you for tuning in today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.